And the gray shirt is back. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 26th. It is 7:53 in the morning. I was not planning on doing any updates this early in the morning. I woke up around 6 o'clock this morning, so I've been up since then. I just finished watching all the YouTube videos. That's been something that I've been doing every day just to kind of give myself a break from reading. The only reason I decided that I wanted to, I guess, check in with you guys right now is because I thought I was gonna be fine, but I'm kind of feeling a little sleepy. So I think for now I'm actually gonna get out of my bed for a while. I think I'm gonna go downstairs and make some tea so I can get a little bit of caffeine in me. I don't drink coffee, and I think I'm just gonna go sit down either at the table or counter downstairs or on the couch. Not really sure where I want to sit, chat, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Sculptor down with me. Yeah, I read 104 pages yesterday, which I'm pretty sure that I mentioned, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this down with me and read the last 384 pages, and just to change up the pace, get out of my room, get out of my bed, because that seems to be the only place I've been reading lately. Hopefully that helps. Get my tea, get my book and another book because I think I might stay down here longer than I planned to at first. And yeah, I'm about to go ahead and start reading now. Oh man. It is 11:53 right now. I have been reading since my last update. I stopped for maybe about 5 minutes, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just finished The Sculptor by Scott McCloud, and I don't have the dust jacket. It's upstairs in my room right now, but this is the front, and then on the back is another one of the characters. But yeah, I just finished this. I read 104 pages yesterday, so I finished up the last 384 pages just now, and oh man, it's like I knew the ending was coming, but I was hoping something else was gonna happen and it didn't. And oh man, this kind of just like wrecked me. It was good. It was really good though. Only problem I had with it, some of it was a little confusing, but overall I would say this is one of the best graphic novels that I have ever read, and I could definitely see myself rereading this in the future. And if you guys have not read this and you're interested in it at all, I would highly suggest you check it out. This book follows David Smith, which is this guy that's on the cover, and basically he is an artist. He's a sculptor, and he ends up making a deal with death to be able to sculpt anything, but in exchange for that he only has 200 days to live. So we're kind of following him after he makes this deal, as his time is running up, and it was good. That's all I could say. I don't know what to think right now. I'm kind of messed up right now, but I'm gonna push on and continue reading. Like I said, I did stop, but that is because My Fairy Loot box finally came in today. So I think because I just finished reading this, which that was, like I said, almost 400 pages in basically one sitting, I think I'm going to take a quick break right now and go film my Fairy Loot unboxing because I really want to know what's in this box. Good morning, everyone. It is July 27th. It is 10:05 in the morning. I just got up and moving. I was up a couple hours ago, but I just finally got up to do something. I just came back from making myself some breakfast. I made some eggs and toast, so I am about to eat that, and I'm probably about to watch some YouTube videos, mostly vlogs and possibly some readathon challenges, because I didn't really watch any yesterday. I don't know, I wanted to focus on reading yesterday. And I guess before I get started with the rest of my day, I can give you guys a quick update because I didn't update you since I finished the sculptor yesterday. So as soon as I finished the sculptor, I can't remember what I was doing, but I felt like I took a break for a while. Oh, you know what, I came up and I filmed my Fairy Loot unboxing. That's what I did. And then after that, I think I went and watched some TV because I was gonna go read, but I didn't feel like it, so I didn't want to force myself, and I had already finished my book for the day technically, so I didn't force myself. But then later in the day, I went ahead and picked up The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and I did not get that far into that. Let me see, I don't even think I actually started reading the main chunk of the book. Oh yeah, no, I didn't even finish the prologue part of it. So the actual book is counting. The first chapter starts on page 1, but there is a section called Prelude, and I think it's about 23 or 24 pages of that. And I started reading it, and it was interesting, but I felt like I may have tired myself out from reading because I sat and read almost 400 pages in one entire sitting, and usually I break that up. So I started reading The Savage Song, but I didn't get very far. If you guys can see that, I only read a few pages. Once I put it down, I had planned on picking it back up later yesterday, but I never did get to it. So that'll probably be the goal later today once I finish everything else that I want to do. But I do have some other plans, but as soon as I'm done with that, then I plan on picking this one back up. But yesterday, I think I mentioned it, and it was in one of the previous days, but I had my planner and it was Wednesday, and I still hadn't put down my stickers for the week and planned out the rest of my week. So last night I decided to do that, and while I was doing that, I actually started listening to the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone audiobook, and I also flipped through this while I was reading it. And last night, I think I got to page 118, I believe. I read like the first 8 chapters last night while I was doing or planning out my week, and once I was done with that, I still wanted to read. I wanted to get to page 100 in this illustrated edition because it's only 256 pages of it. So I decided that I would finish coloring until I got to the end of the chapter after that first 100 pages. And then I think I ended up reading a chapter past that. So I got quite a bit of that done. I'm not quite halfway, but I'm close to being halfway through this illustrated edition. And I'm really liking the audiobook of this first book, and I promise while I was listening to it, I read the first book last year, and I just read the physical copy, and I do not remember half of this stuff happening. You know, I know the story from the movies for the most part, but I don't remember reading the actual book. So while most of the story was there, I feel like there's still a good chunk of the book that wasn't in the movie, and some of it I remember people talking about, but I don't remember personally reading it. So honestly, it's like I'm reading this for the first time all over again while I'm listening to it. And then I also get to flip through the artwork. While I was making my breakfast, I was watching some readathon vlogs on my phone, but then I was sitting there like, this is the perfect time where I could be listening to the audiobook as well, so I can get through that. That'll probably be what I'm focusing on the most today, because there are some things that I want to do. I thought about waiting to the end of the week to do some cleaning, but my room is starting to get out of control and I don't like it. I feel like it's just been getting worse and worse every day. It's just everything that I've had for the readathon is kind of just scattered all over the place, and I need to clean it up. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. This is like the perfect time to do that, and I should be able to finish this today. But I'm gonna clean up my room. I need to wash my clothes. I need to wash my bedding stuff, and then I'm also gonna clean the bathroom. Hey everyone, so it is now 11:03. I have not updated at all. I think it's been about 10 hours, or not 10, it's been about 12 hours since the last time I filmed any updates. I pretty much spent the majority of my day since I've been up cleaning up. But I wanted to do one final update for today, since I wanted to put this in the first part of my vlog wrap up. So yeah, I actually finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the illustrated edition / audiobook. I think I mentioned it, but I was listening to the audiobook, and as I was listening to it, I would flip through the pages just to see the illustrations. And I feel like it helped because it gave me a different format to read in, as well as it knocked another book off of my list, even though I was using Harry Potter as a backup. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what. So I guess I'll just stop and I will update you guys in the morning. Hey everyone, it is Saturday. It is almost, so it's about to be 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening, whatever. I didn't realize it is got so late. I slept in. I'm gonna just say that. I've only been up for a few hours. I think I woke up right before 2 o'clock. It was like a couple minutes away from 2, and yeah, I stayed up till like basically 6 o'clock this morning. So I think that my body is finally catching up to me, that I couldn't sleep 8 hours every day. I promise every single day I will wake up in like 4 to 5 hours. I think the most one day I might have got 6 hours of sleep, but I don't think I did. But anyway, I didn't vlog at all yesterday because I didn't read at all yesterday. I had all these plans to spend my whole day reading, but I didn't. I will say though that because I didn't read, I did get a bunch of other stuff done. I wanted to post 3 videos to my channel yesterday, my 3 unboxings, and I had them all pre-filmed, but I had to edit them all, and then I had to also take close-ups for the videos for the things that you couldn't really see when I was showing them off in the video, and then I had to put those in and also edit the thumbnails and then upload them all and post them all. I did not know that YouTube actually had a feature where you can upload multiple videos at a time and upload them all at the same time. So that was a nice surprise, and I ended up doing that. So I got all 3 of those posted, but it did take me quite a bit of the day because I was being lazy. Thursday going into Friday, I was having a hard time going to sleep, so I think I ended up staying up till like 3:30 or 4 o'clock Friday morning, and I had started an ebook. I did read on Friday. It just wasn't one of the books that were on my TBR. I think that's why I forgot. But yeah, Thursday into Friday I couldn't sleep, so I ended up starting an ebook to try to get myself to fall asleep, and I ended up reading almost half of it before going to bed. But that was Tangled Beauty by K.L. Middleton. So I had this book on my July TBR, but it wasn't one of the books that I had on the TBR for either readathon. But I just ended up reading it because it was actually a pretty short book. I think it was like just under 200 pages. And yeah, so I read that. Like I said, I stayed up to almost 4 that morning reading it, and then when I got up, later that day, I guess. Then I went ahead and finished it off, and I did that before I got up and did anything else. So that's part of the reason why it took me so long to finish my videos. And then I also went ahead, I have been talking about this all week, but I went ahead and finally filmed Sims videos, like gameplay videos, and I actually did 3, and I uploaded the first one to my new channel yesterday or today, because I was up late again last night. Because today is Saturday, it's actually the last day of the biannual bibliothon, and it's day 6 of the booktubeathon. So I wanted to try to get back on track and at least finish one more book that was on my TBR, since I do have them both, or do have the same for both. And then I'll still have tomorrow to get some books done for the booktubeathon. But today I do want to focus on The Savage Song. I feel like I've been talking about this book for almost the entire week now. I am going to try to finish this entire book today. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do that since it is already 5 o'clock. I'm kind of feeling a little sleepy, even though I slept. That's the longest I slept all week. So I think I'm going to go make me some tea and then come back up to my room and get started on this. Hey everyone, so I almost forgot to film this wrap up. I was actually editing my video. Today's the day that I'm filming. I edited my video, or the first part of the readathon vlog, and put that up, and I realized that I never filmed this, so I was like, you know what, I might as well do that. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but I decided to just go ahead and do it today because I had a little bit of energy. Don't know where it came from, but it's here now. So I figured that I would just go through quickly the books that I finished during the readathon and all the challenges that it fit for. At first I just tried to film this actually, and I was doing a actual wrap up on my thoughts of the books, but I think I'm just gonna save that for my wrap up, because at the end I don't know how much footage I already have for the second part of the vlog, and because I wanted to just put this on to the end of that, I just decided to just talk about the books that I read, or just say which books I read and say which challenges those fit for. I do have a couple books that I can briefly talk about that I read during the 2 readathons, but they didn't count for any, or I didn't personally count them for any challenges because they weren't books that I had on my TBR before the readathon started. So I will briefly mention the 2 of those. The first one that I finished was Puffed Over by Helena Hunting, and I actually read this on the 23rd and the 24th, so I only counted half of the book towards the booktubeathon, and then the entire book counted for the summer biannual bibliothon. I guess it doesn't matter because I don't think I will be doing a total page count that I read because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing that. And then the second book that I read that I didn't count towards any challenges was Tangled Beauty by K.L. Middleton, and I finished this on the 28th. I believe I read this I finished the entire book in one day. So for the summer biannual bibliothon, I finished 4.5 of the challenges, and once I go through the books, you guys will understand why I said 4.5 and not like a whole number. And then for the booktubeathon, I finished 5 of the challenges. I think the way I'm going to set this up is go through the readathons and the challenges, and under each challenge read off which book I completed for that challenge. And yeah, so these books will be held up multiple times. I think that'll be the easiest way to go about this. So let's just get into it. And another thing that I wanted to mention, I actually did start The Savage Song during the readathon, as I'm sure will be in the vlog part, says right before the section. But I started The Savage Song, and I think by the end of the readathon I had only read the prologue, or maybe the prologue and the first chapter or something like that. I really didn't read that much, and I've been reading, but I still haven't gotten that far. I'm only on page 62. I'm going to start with the Summer Biannual Bibliothon just because I started before the Booktubeathon. So like I mentioned in my TBR video, the Summer Biannual Bibliothon took place from the July 23rd through July 29th. And like I mentioned, I managed to finish 4.5 of the 7 challenges. So challenge 1 was the group book, which is Flame in the Mist, and I did not complete that challenge. I didn't even start reading that one. Challenge 2 was to read from one of the host's favorite genres, and I didn't finish the book that I initially set out to read for this, but I did technically complete this challenge, and for that one I decided to go with the dystopian / sci-fi genre. For that one I decided to go with Low Volume 1 by Rick Remender. Challenge 3 was to read a banned book, and for this I went with Y the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. Challenge 4 was to read a book to movie adaptation and watch the adaptation. Now I did not read the book that I initially had on my TBR, which was The Girl with All the Gifts. I figured that I might not get to that one. If I didn't get to any of them, I thought it would be that one, and I didn't. But I did manage to get to my backup book, which was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and I actually listened to this one on audio as I flipped through the illustrated edition. Even though I did read this, I did not watch the movie adaptation. I had the opportunity to because I do own the movies, and I could have. I had the time as well, but I just honestly didn't feel like watching it. Challenge 5 was to read a book you've seen somewhere other than BookTube. And for this one, again, I went with Low Volume 1 by Rick Remender. This was the challenge that I was initially using this one for. So obviously that fit for that challenge. And they mentioned that you could double up on challenges, but don't do any more than that. So that's why I decided to count this for the earlier challenge as well. Challenge 6 was to read a LGBTQIA plus book, and my choice for this was Queens of Geek by Jen Wild, and I also did not get to this one. And challenge 7 for the Summer Biannual Bibliothon was the throwback challenge, and for that one I decided to go with the graphic novel. And for that one I read The Sculptor by Scott McCloud. Those are the books that counted for the 4.5 challenges for the Summer Biannual Bibliothon, and now I am going to move to the challenges and what I read for them for the Booktubeathon. So I'm sure you guys know, because most people I feel like participated in the Booktubeathon way more than were participating in the Biannual Bibliothon. But it took place, Booktubeathon took place from the 24th through the 30th. First challenge was to read a book with a person on the cover, and for this one I initially chose The Sculptor by Scott McCloud. This one actually has 2 people on the cover, also has a person on the back, and as I just showed off, it has a person on the hard cover on the front and the back. So I'm pretty sure that really worked for those challenges. The second challenge was to read a hyped book, and I did not read the book that I set out to read, which was This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I told you guys I read like the prologue and the first chapter, I think, before the readathon ended. But for this one I did read a book that fit that challenge, so I decided to pick Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Challenge 3 was to finish a book in one day, and for that I finished Y the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. Challenge 4 was to read a book about a character that's very different from you, and honestly all the books that I finished could have counted towards this challenge. This followed just this entire family and living underwater and being captive and all kind of crazy stuff, and coming from a really special bloodline. It's just a bunch of different stuff that happened in the story that was completely different from me. The main character was a mother, and it's just a lot that was different from me about the characters in this book. The Sculptor followed a male character. I mean, he wasn't the only one in this book, but not only that, the main character is also an artist. He's a sculptor, and he had a lot of tragic family things going on. So Another thing that was really different for me. Another one is Y the Last Man. Although there are definitely women all up and down this, the main character is the only man besides his, the only male besides his monkey that's left in the world, or the only one that we know of. And even the female characters that are in here, I felt like they were definitely very different for me. Some of them made me real mad. Just leave it at that. And then the other one was Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone. Main character is the male, and he is an orphan, and he is a wizard. So can we keep going? Probably, but we're just gonna leave it there. The fifth challenge was to finish a book completely outdoors. And if you guys seen part 1 of my readathon vlog, then you will know I failed at that. I read outside for like about 30 minutes, and that was it. And I didn't even get halfway through what I went out there to read. So that was a fail on my part, but it is what it is. Challenge 6 was to read a book you bought because of the cover, and for that it was Low Volume 1 by Rick Remender. And challenge 7 was to read 7 books, and honestly I just missed this challenge. I only finished 6 books, but that's okay, and only 4 of them I counted towards challenges. So these, okay, actually no, let me take this off because that doesn't count. These are all the books that I finished during the 2 readathons besides the ebooks. And like I said, I will talk more about my thoughts on these and my wrap up, which is probably going to be really long because I think I finished a total of 17 books in July. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, make sure you check out my wrap up. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. If you guys participated in any of the readathons, make sure you let me know what you read down in the comments, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye.